Remember last summer when everyone was saying if Man City sign a striker then they're certain to win the league, and then they didn't sign a striker and still won the league? Good times. Anyways, they've gone out and done it this summer, and no, we're not talking about Julian Alvarez, even though he looks really exciting and it will be interesting to see what the Argentine can make in his inaugural campaign in Europe. No, instead we're speaking of course about Erling Haaland, the enigmatic striker who signed from Dortmund. A 22-year-old who's never played a minute of English football but has very good odds to win the Golden Boot in his first season. That's absolutely mental, but crucially, see what he's already achieved and it doesn't seem that impossible. Let's take a look at his underlying numbers to see why odds makers are so in love with the boy who was born in Leeds. Spoiler alert, it's because he's good at scoring goals. Like, really good. First, let's look at his physical attributes, which seem like the product of an unrealistic FIFA creator player. Haaland is both incredibly tall for a footballer and incredibly fast. Towering over other players at 6'4" or 1.95 meters, one would be forgiven for assuming the lad might be a Peter Crouch regen and serve as a poacher looking to provide hold-up play with his head and goals courtesy of his tall and gangling frame. He does that, no doubt, but he's blisteringly fast as well. When Dortmund came up against PSG in the last 16 of the 19/20 Champions League, Haaland cleared the ball away for a corner before covering 60 meters of the pitch in just 6.64 seconds. Just 0.3 seconds off the world record. Haaland ran so fast that he would have qualified for the 60 meters at the 2018 World Athletics Championships. That's about 36 kilometers an hour or 22 miles per hour in case you were wondering. These physical attributes obviously help him, but it would be all for naught if the footballer wasn't also an incredibly technical and savvy footballer. Is he? Well, let's take a look at his underlying numbers for the 21/22 season. Before we do so, it's important to note that both Dortmund and Haaland have had a bit of a torrid time over the past year. Haaland has been in and out of the team with injuries, and the club itself has gone through a calamitous period with a real sense of inconsistency resulting from multiple managers, injury concerns, and a complete lack of tactical stability with either how they set up or who's involved. So let's give the then 21-year-old a bit of breathing room before we check out how he's done. Okay, wait, never mind. That was completely unnecessary because the lad has absolutely smashed it regardless. He's the epitome of an elite striker. It's also important to note the ratio of goals to expected goals. One could laud Haaland enough if he was simply getting on the end of chances with his blistering pace and towering frame, but he's finishing them at an elite level as well. He's scoring about 1.2 goals per expected goal. This outperforms many other elite strikers like Lewandowski with 1.13 goals per expected goal, Harry Kane with 0.75 goals per expected goal, and Ronaldo with 1.19 per expected goal over the same time period. Not only that, but unlike other top young strikers who have transferred to bigger teams such as Darwin Núñez, Dusan Vlahovic, or Patrick Schick and are unproven over a longer period, last season for him has not been an anomaly. Or if it has, it's been an abnormally poor season for the striker, as he has absolutely smashed it every season since he broke into Mold's first team. In fact, since his first Mold season in 2018, he's only finished outside the top 3 goal scorers in his league twice, when he finished in 6th in the Austrian Bundesliga with the final season with RB Salzburg and 6th in his first season with Dortmund in the German Bundesliga. Although it's pretty crucial to note that these two feats occurred in the same season, meaning he finished a top 6 goal scorer in both the German and Austrian leagues despite only playing half of the season in each of them. Did you know he was a world record holder at just 5? Haaland leapt 1.63 meters in standing long jump when he was just 5 years old. According to international age records, it is a world record for a 5-year-old which still stands today. He's truly a player that defies reason. At just 21, he scored 93 club goals in just 93.7 full 90 minutes. Compared to Lewandowski, who scored 344 across 400, and Harry Kane, who has scored 197 across 295, it shows you just how prolific he is in front of goal. And it's important to note that a statistic like this is one that should skew in favor of older players in their prime. When you're younger, you're smaller, more inexperienced, and often getting just 20 minutes at a time in matches and in an unfavored position. For him to still surpass these legends, even though over half of his career minutes were when he was a teenager, is insane. His exploits at this age were well documented. His Champions League career famously began with a first-half hat-trick for RB Salzburg against Genk at the age of 19. This was part of a miraculous group campaign in which he outscored 9 whole clubs and earned a spot on the radar of many top clubs. There seems to be something about the Champions League that brings out the best in the young striker, already scoring or assisting a miraculous 1.31 goals per 90 in league and domestic cup competitions. That number soars to an almost unbelievable 1.6 in the European Cup. His exploits here soon earned him a move to Dortmund, where he absolutely hit the ground running by every definition. He joined the club in January and managed to win the Bundesliga Player of the Month award after playing just 59 minutes of club football in total, scoring 5 goals in that time. He would end up scoring 8 goals in his first 4 matches as he absolutely lit up the Bundesliga. Not only that, but Haaland's tendency to outperform in the Champions League continued as well. He became the quickest player to ever reach 10 Champions League goals for a side, doing so in just 7 matches, donning the famous yellow shirt of the Westphalian side. In summary, Haaland scored a lot of goals for Dortmund, and he likes to make a good first impression as he became their first player ever to score on his debut in all 3 of the Bundesliga, DFB Pokal, and Champions League. And if comparing Haaland to other greats doesn't quite capture how magnificent his performances have been early on in his career, how about comparing them to an entire club? Since the summer of 2019, Haaland has scored 129 goals in 128 matches across all competitions. This includes his performances for his country. Across that same span, Burnley have scored just 128 goals in 126 Premier League matches. If it seems like an unfair comparison to pit the most prolific goalscorer in the high-scoring Bundesliga to a famously defensive and stingy Burnley, it's not just the Clarets that Haaland has managed to outscore. Norwich City have scored less as well, just 124 goals in 122 league games, even including their blistering championship title run in 2021, in which they scored 75 goals. Since his official transfer to Dortmund on January 1st, 2020, Haaland has scored 85 competitive goals for the German club. Only 2 players in Europe's top 5 leagues have scored more: PSG's Kylian Mbappe with 89 goals and Bayern Munich's Robert Lewandowski with 122 goals. Haaland is actually tied for 3rd place with Cristiano Ronaldo. The new City striker, on the other hand, has amassed his total in far fewer games, just 88. In that time, all 3 stars, Lewandowski, Mbappe and Ronaldo, have played more than 100 games, a little shy of 2.5 years. So there you have it. It doesn't matter if you compare him to all-time legends, current greats or even entire clubs. The lad scores goals better than nearly anyone who has ever played the game, and he's still just 22. It will be interesting to see how Haaland starts his City career, especially into the Premier League, due to the age-old adage that Pep Guardiola attackers need time to adjust to the Pep system. Year after year, immense talismen join the club who are sure to break the streak, and year after year they fail. Last season's output from Jack Grealish is the latest example of this phenomenon. However, it's almost impossible to consider a situation in which Haaland puts out a paltry output this year. Almost everyone from pundits to sportsbooks to everyday fans are quaking in their boots at this signing and the upcoming season. Everyone apart from Chelsea's goalkeeper Mendy, who bizarrely said, "I look at Haaland like I look at, say, Benteke at Palace. It's not that different between Crystal Palace and City. You have to be focused because he is a striker and he can score, so I study." Man City versus Chelsea should be interesting this season. Almost everyone is certain that Haaland will thrive. Why? Because Erling Haaland is a proper baller. How many goals will Erling Haaland score for Man City this season? Comment below and don't forget to like. And if you love football, subscribe to the channel. Thank you and see you on the next one.